Hey everybody, I'm Al Snow. This is Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You got the head.
Right.
You got the head.
You got the ass.
Yeah, that's right. I got the ass. He's got the head.
Right.
Al Snow, Billy Gunn. Hey, we're here for the PWR show. We want to wish everybody, even want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
I wish you one, too.
Thanks, man.
No
Hey,
problem.
don't look at me like
And
that
happy
when you say
Festivus.
that. Happy what?
Festivus and happy Kwanzaa.
Spell it.
And happy Hanukkah. F-E-S-T-I-V-U-S. Festivus. That's right.
Hey,
From all of
everybody
us
else, yes.
to all of you, happy holidays. Hope you get a little head in your stocking, and if not, maybe a little ass under your tree.
Welcome to the holiday edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime TV for December 21st, 2013. This week we have a full review of WWE TLC, which featured the crowning of a new unified champion, the TV's highs and lows, DHHS, and the Event Center with details on the return to WWE TV to Milwaukee. And now let's kick it off with this week's big story.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Linda, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night. It's the Christmas edition, the holiday edition, David Hero, here on December the 21st.
I'm just trying to make sure your tree is nice and full.
It's time to go to this week's big story, and that is, of course, last Sunday's WWE TLC on pay-per-view. Before we get to the pay-per-view, though, let's talk about some notable things that happened on the pre-show, the kickoff show, if you will, which aired, of course, live on WWE.com. Dolph Ziggler gets a win over Fandango, and a little bit of help from Summer Rae inadvertently there. Now, the key to that is we heard from commentary.
Wait. I thought Fandango beat Dolph Ziggler on the pre-show.
That was on Raw Monday night.
I'm so they've had the same match. I'm so confused.
Maybe Ziggler did lose on Sunday.
You don't remember, do you?
That's a 50-50 chance. The key thing was, in the commentary, we were being told how Dolph Ziggler has realized the error of his ways as of late and has recommitted himself to.
Did he say what his errors were?
Well, he lost.
He lost the chick. He lost the bodyguard. He's a man on his own.
And he lost on Sunday.
He needs
but
to get
won
them
on
both
Monday.
back. And buried on a Tuesday.
But also on the kickoff show, it was The Miz being confronted by Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston slaps Miz across the face, and we see that match made for later on in the night for no disqualification. But the big thing that happened at the end of the kickoff show, and I thought
Nothing
this was very, very
says
smart.
TLC to me like a Kofi Kingston no DQ match against The Miz.
Vince McMahon, Daddy was home, came arriving in the limo with Stephanie and Triple H. Now, one thing I thought would happen in this pay-per-view did not, and that would be Vince McMahon being more involved in the Unification Championship matchup between Randy Orton and John Cena. And of course, as you know, we do have a brand new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. The man who walked out of TLC with both championship title belts, Randy Orton. This match I thought was fantastic between the two, and yes, I will say that again. I thought it was a fantastic match between those two men, and I thought it wasn't necessarily more believable than a wrestling match can be, but they did some new stuff. Randy Orton handcuffing John Cena to the ropes, John Cena pulling the bottom rope off, hitting Orton with the turnbuckle on top of the ladder. Orton wins the match after sending John Cena headfirst into the table in the ring. Randy Orton won that match clean.
Randy Orton proved.
And people are saying he cheated.
Randy Orton showed the world he is by far tougher than John Cena. How many tables did Randy Orton go through?
At least 2, I believe.
2 or 3? Cena goes through 1.
Head first, though. He didn't land.
That's the hardest part of his body, is the head. He'd be fine.
People expected, because over the last few months we've seen it in this way, that this match would end in some type of screw job. A lot of people
It can't if it's a TLC. It's a no DQ, hardcore, everything under the sun match in a TLC match.
A lot of people saying that Triple H would be the one walking out as the WWE World
It's
Heavyweight
amazing
Champion.
how much a little bit of an idea online can make everyone think that's really going to happen.
Is it because that's what they wanted to happen, or because they wanted to be right about what they thought would happen?
Well, first of all, one person can only be right.
And I was, thank you.
You know, I called Randy Orton winning this weeks ago, if you don't remember.
No, the tape does, and the tape
Yes.
doesn't say that you necessarily called it.
It was a smart match because it made Randy Orton a strong WWE World Champion. He defeated John Cena at his best. He beat him clean, 1, 2, 3, in a TLC match. John Cena didn't have to win. He's already the biggest name under the sun.
They did a real good job all night long of talking to the importance of this matchup, talking to the significance of both the WWE and the World Heavyweight Championship. Good job, WWE. They delivered at TLC. However, most of you felt that TLC did not deliver because there was a clean finish and a clear winner in the matchup.
Everyone complains the last few months about all the screw job finishes. They finally got what you wanted. You finally got your full money's worth. If anything, be upset that you had your darlings CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in 3-on-1 handicap matches.
It was also a four-way elimination tag team championship matchup as the Broads, Cody and Goldust, teamed up to take on Rey Mysterio on the Big Show, along with Ryback and Curtis Axel and the Real Americans. Goldust eliminating Ryback, Axel, pinfall elimination there. Big Show eliminating the Real Americans with 2 knockout punches, and Cody pins Rey Mysterio. The Rhodes win and retain the tag team titles. As you said, CM Punk versus The Shield. Reigns spears Ambrose by mistake.
It was miscommunication.
And CM Punk wins that matchup. One man against 3, David Hero. AJ Lee versus Natalya.
But he is the best in the world, so he should be 3 guys.
The pre-match speaking by AJ Lee called the Divas division and the Slammies and Total Divas a joke. It was a great Divas matchup. The fans were into this match.
Well,
and AJ wins.
AJ has come a long way. Natty has been fantastic for a long time, and it gave the fans what they wanted.
Damian Sandow versus Big E Langston for the Intercontinental Championship. A good showing for Langston here, and a big commentary push for him as he retained the Intercontinental Championship. Remember, the words that are said during the match, we'll talk about the words that weren't said during a matchup on Raw in TV Highs in a minute, but the words that are said during a match are very, very important. Brodus Clay versus R-Truth. R-Truth wins. Miz versus Kofi Kingston, no disqualification matchup. I actually thought this was a very solid matchup.
Because you like The Miz.
He's endorsed.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston wins that matchup. However, the crowd during this match chanting, boring.
Because of the Miz is involved in it.
Daniel Bryan versus the Wyatts. This is another 1-on-3 matchup.
You know, the Miz is kind of like rice. Bland,
Spanish
boring.
rice?
Yeah.
How about that creepy backwards crawl from the Wyatts, or from Bray Wyatt that shined? Bray Wyatt shined overall in the matchup with that, and his words he was saying to Daniel Bryan, more so than the physicality he was exhibiting against Daniel Bryan. Overall, WWE TLC David Hero, brand new WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Not the unified champion anymore?
No, that was a week ago voting. Nobody cares.
See, they don't care what you think. They're going to do whatever they want anyhow. Why'd you say that? How rude.
Overall, pass-fail.
I thought it was a passing pay-per-view.
All right, well, that is this week's big story, ladies and gentlemen. It's time now to go to this
Would you
week's...
pass or fail it?
I don't vote.
Of course you don't.
Go to this week's Hot News, where you get all the headlines you need around 2 minutes or less. I suffer from affluenza, okay? For those of you scoring at home. AJ Styles has officially parted ways with TNA Wrestling after months of speculation regarding his contract status with the company.
The guy's finally over like $1 million, now he's not there anymore.
Styles released a statement earlier this week that said, and I quote, "Today, for the first time in 11 years, AJ Styles awakes to find himself without a professional wrestling contract. I can't help but think, how did I get here? What must I have done wrong? Did I not deliver in the ring, etc.? All those things are pertinent questions to any man or woman who finds himself or herself unemployed would ask."
What do you think you did wrong?
"I've always prided myself in being the wrestler that stays away from the things in this business that could easily destroy myself, my family, my marriage, and even my career. A wrestler who goes above and beyond to give fans what they paid to see. I move forward, not better, but better, for the blessings and memories that I have been a part of since TNA's inception." Styles has taken several independent bookings and will continue to wrestle for the foreseeable
And
future.
he'll make far more money on the indies than he will in TNA.
There are reports, though, that AJ Styles is indeed back in talks with TNA Wrestling.
Well,
We don't
of
have
course,
any
they're going to have
confirmation on that.
talks, but he's going to make more on the indies right now.
Absent from WWE TLC this past
They
Sunday,
pay on
former
time.
World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio has suffered a concussion. WWE.com released a statement last week that read, and I quote, "After speaking with Del Rio following his match, it was determined that he suffered the injury as a result of a top rope sunset flip powerbomb." Weird to hear them call
Who the
moves.
hell does a top rope sunset flip powerbomb?
Following some
You
initial
don't do
testing,
that. That's why people get hurt.
Following some initial testing, the WWE doctor diagnosed Del Rio
Was that Hunico?
with a concussion,
Hunacirco? Or
and they will be
Sinha?
reevaluating him as well as administering impact testing to determine a timetable for the champion's recovery. We do wish Del Rio a very speedy recovery. TNA Wrestling has announced a new tour to take place in Illinois, Texas, and West Virginia in February. The tour, titled Road to Lockdown, will feature a steel cage match at each of the 6 shows, which kick off in February in DeKalb,
Is that what they're really calling it? I mean, when you're in West Virginia, you've got to call it something else.
PWR will keep you up to date with developments on these stories as they become available at the all-new and better PWRshow.com. That's it for this week's Hot News.
Be sure to check out PWR Live every Tuesday night, streaming live at PWRshow.com, where you have the chance to call in and ask questions of the PWR team each Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Coming up after the break, we have this week's TV highlights right here on PWR Primetime TV on My 24 Milwaukee.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company tried to stop me from getting what was fair. I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They green-lighted my case and got me $100,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. PWR is coming for a huge Royal Rumble kickoff party featuring Big Sexy Kevin Nash. That's right, the night before the WWE Royal Rumble in Pittsburgh. Come to PWR's kickoff party featuring all kinds of shenanigans and Big Sexy Kevin Nash. Tickets available right now at PWRshow.com. PWRshow.com. The Royal Rumble kickoff party comes to Pittsburgh.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night, right here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, the elected backyard one-time Knockouts Divas Hardcore Straight Edge Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Hero. And it's time to go into this week's TV highs, the high points of television from this past.
How do they do that?
What happened to the rest of the tree?
I don't know. It's been in storage.
Let's go back to this past Monday's WWE Raw. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan in the main event, a non-title matchup between the new champion and Daniel Bryan.
They showed SummerSlam the night after TLC.
Yes, it was a repeat, David Hero, but I don't care because it was a damn good match.
Well, they had to do it because they had to distance John Cena from Randy Orton. So John Cena says, "Hey, Daniel Bryan, take my spot because I'll get this match at WrestleMania."
The match ended with a low blow from Randy Orton to cause a disqualification, which brought out John Cena as Randy Orton was then further attacking Daniel Bryan.
Why are people upset
Perfect
about that?
way to end the match.
But
They had to.
Yeah, I mean, Ric Flair did that all the time.
Tell the people why they had to end the match that way, though. What did it do for Randy Orton?
Well, it made him a stronger heel, more heat on him, more babyface sympathy for Daniel Bryan, and then it brings out Superman John Cena to save the day.
Speaking of Superman, how about that punch from Roman Reigns? That was a full-blown super. It was like I felt like I was playing Marvel's Ultimate Alliance or something.
It wouldn't have been Marvel because that'd be a DC. Because Marvel is Iron Man and Hulk.
It's the Ultimate Alliance. They aligned and
did they?
Marvel
Okay,
versus
that's
DC.
great.
So, anyways, Roman Reigns. We're going to talk about the
Roman
Shield
Reigns is
and
the
the
star,
count-out
and
later on.
And you know Jerry Lawler was very, very pleased with that spot.
Oh, he did. He's like, oh, a Superman punch. Well done, well done. Speaking of well done, that Bray Wyatt promo, again, convincing, talking to Abigail in the chair. Abigail, who wasn't even there, but there in spirit, I guess. These Wyatts just keep getting better and better and better.
I wonder if Abigail is related to the person that it was at the Republican convention speech.
I'm sorry?
Who was...
Plumber Joe?
No.
Oh,
no.
Sarah Palin.
No.
Remember her?
The older actor. I'm drawing a blank.
Angela Lansbury?
No.
Jessica Lange?
No.
Betty White?
You're killing me here. Forget it. Remember, there's always an empty chair. People, you talk to empty chairs? You did at the Blizzard Brawl after party. I saw you talk to that empty chair.
That was Clint Eastwood, you fool. And it wasn't a woman.
I never said woman.
You said woman. Yes, you sure did.
No, I did not.
It was like that woman at the Republican convention.
I said
That's
that
what
one time at the Republican National Convention.
Oh, brand new Impact Wrestling champion was crowned this past Thursday night.
How about that?
Brand new TNA champion, Magnus. He defeated Jeff Hardy in a steel cage Dixieland match. Thanks and help to Rockstar Spud. Anyways, This was a big win. Magnus is the new TNA champion.
And Magnus is going to have one heck of a bullseye on his back because he is young. He's rather still unproven. And now he's going to have a whole bunch of baby faces ready to come after him.
Young, but he's been with TNA for a number of years, 3 or 4, I think.
He's still
28, 29 years old.
He's in his mid-20s. I mean, you can be in the company for 5 or 6 years. When you start at 21, 22, he's getting seasoned. Not sure if this is a big thing right now with the company in such turmoil, and they need a leader. It'll be interesting to see how Magnus pulls this all together.
Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, Bully Ray, AJ Styles, the champions over the course of the last several months in TNA Impact Wrestling.
You forgot Chris Sabin.
Chris Sabin as well, yeah. They're taking some risks, and I think this is a good one to take.
But Magnus is a good-looking guy. He looks like he can walk off the cover of a magazine. He has that it factor. He has that it factor. You know, it's that whole they thing going for him, and you just have to wonder if he's up for it. That's this week's TV Highs, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out who this week's Diamond of the Ring is. David, take it away. It's a no-brainer. This week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring. Yes, I thought Magnus was the guy defeating Jeff Hardy in the Dixieland cage match. But you have to go with Randall Kyle Orton defeating John Cena, the man, the myth, the legend, in the TLCW pay-per-view to become the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, Randy Orton is this week's Robert Hack Diamond of the Ring, the place where they pay cash for gold.
Good choice, David. Let's go to this week's ROH report, Ring of Honor Wrestling. And as you know, Ring of Honor Wrestling last weekend presented Final Battle from the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. And here are the results. Matt Hardy defeated Adam Page with a twist of fate. Silas Young, who could be seen at last week's Blizzard Brawl, by the way, defeated Mark Briscoe in a strap match. The Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson, defeated Adrenaline Rush, comprised of ACH and Tadarius Thomas, with more bang for your buck. That's the move, David Hero. Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen defeated Michael Bennett while the referee actually stopped the matchup, giving Steen the win. Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships were on the line as Reed Dragon, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly defeated Outlaw Incorporated, the team of Homicide and Eddie Kingston. Ring of Honor World Television Championship matchup as well as the Sicilian Psychopath, Tommaso Ciampa, defeated Matt Taven with the Rings of Saturn for the submission. And he also took away the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Die Hard Eddie Edwards and BJ Whitmer defeated Roderick Strong and Jay Lethal. And in the Ring of Honor World Championship matchup, Adam Cole defeated Michael Elgin and Jay Briscoe with a roll-up to retain that title. Remember, Ring of Honor returns to Milwaukee on March 7th at Turner Hall. And for more events, let's take it over to Linda Kay with this week's Event Center.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Minneapolis, get ready to experience WWE Elimination Chamber in a whole new way. Join the PWR team in a private suite at the Target Center and watch the February WWE pay-per-view event in style. Tickets are available now at pwrshow.com. WWE SmackDown returns to Milwaukee on February 25th, and tickets are on sale now at ticketmaster.com. PWR and CSR are teaming up with Dynamic D to bring you the Royal Rumble kickoff party hosted by Big Sexy Kevin Nash at Latitude 40 in Pittsburgh. It will also serve as the official ROH after party following their big event that same night. Tickets and details are available now at pwrshow.com. That's it for this week's Event Center presented by Gruber Law Offices. And now let's find out what artists got in store for us in the little things.
Don't think I ever formally said this publicly, guys, but thank you very much for this t-shirt. Hashtag the little things on Twitter. From the pay-per-view, the Wyatt family. What I loved about their offense was that it was a lot of yelling. And normally you might see that as a negative, but really it was minimal physicality, and when you saw them do something physical, it was impactful. It meant something. And them yelling and screaming at their opponents and the little nuances, you gotta watch that back because that is a perfect example of the little things. Why am I wearing a toque? Because it's minus 21 Fahrenheit outside and the Mountie always gets his man. Hashtag the little things.
Arda looking good in the Super Friends t-shirt, which you can get at PWRshow.com. But Sunday night, the WWE hosted TLC, featuring a unifying title match between Randy Orton and John Cena. The fans were promised that there will be one winner, one person to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and that's exactly what happened. The Viper Randy Orton defeated cleanly John Cena in the main event to unify both titles, with the last few pay-per-view events being marred with shenanigans and finishes that the fans didn't care for. I was surprised to see how social media wrestling fans reacted to Randy Orton cheating to defeat John Cena, even though it was clean and becoming the unified champion. Randy Orton had to beat John Cena fair and square. John Cena is already the established star, and Cena defeating Orton only stops his growth and progress that the Viper has had since SummerSlam. Say what you want about John Cena, but he does do what is best for business, even stepping aside on Raw to let Daniel Bryan get the first crack at Orton's new championship. It seems obvious that John Cena wants new stars to be created to pick up the workload off of him, and for some reason the fans may not always appreciate the effort he puts forth. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Don't forget to join PWR on Facebook, where you can get news updates, live pay-per-view coverage, and more. Head over to facebook.com/PWR show and like PWR on Facebook now. Coming up after the break in just over 60 seconds, we have this week's TV lows and the count out right here on My 24 Milwaukee. As you heard earlier in the PWR Event Center, WWE SmackDown is coming back to Milwaukee for a huge SmackDown TV taping on February 25th. PWR will again be giving away tickets to the event, and it all kicks off on the 2013 Wrestling Awards in 2 weeks. Head over to our Facebook page right now and vote, and then tune in to the special episode on January 4th, where you will have a chance to win WWE SmackDown tickets.
Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh. PWR is coming for a huge Royal Rumble kickoff party featuring Big Sexy Kevin Nash. That's right, the night before the WWE Royal Rumble in Pittsburgh. Come to PWR's kickoff party featuring all kinds of shenanigans and Big Sexy Kevin Nash. Tickets available right now at PWRshow.com. PWRshow.com. The Royal Rumble kickoff party comes to Pittsburgh.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero in the special holiday edition.
It is.
And what is this underneath your jacket?
I got my Christmas.
What superhero is that?
It's my Christmas sweater. You know, I'm in the. You didn't even wear any Christmassy stuff today.
This tie's green.
And?
Green's a Christmas color, holiday color.
It is. Yes.
Celebrate different holidays.
We got Santa. We got Rudolph. We got the Charlie Brown tree.
Let's go to this week's TV lows, the lowlights.
We got Rudolph on the front over here.
And the lowest point of TV this week on any wrestling program anywhere was an attempted parody by WWE and the Raw commentary team of Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler.
Are you kidding me?
During a matchup featuring two of the greatest talents in the history of the company, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, against The Big Show and Rey Mysterio, voted on by you, the fans. They, not once, not twice, but 3 times cut away from that matchup to take a selfie of themselves and to tweet it out. 1 time would have been fine.
You're upset because they're making fun of President Obama.
There's nothing to make fun of with President Obama, who took a selfie of himself along with the British Prime
His wife
Minister,
was not very pleased, you could tell.
You do not sit here and report on something that came from a singular image where the photographer who took that picture told you
Why are you getting that?
Because you're foxing me,
No,
and I
I'm
don't
not.
like to be foxed. And you know that. They took a selfie, 3 cutaways during a tag team match.
Marriage counseling could probably help them right now.
Team champions. You cannot sit there and tell me that parody.
It was funny, haha.
3 times.
A lady. They're talking
1
about
time.
Mrs. Obama.
1 time.
How upset she was. You know, you're getting off track. We're on TV
No,
lows.
not off track. I'm talking about the disrespect shown and cutting away from this matchup. Fine, if you want to parodize things, you can do that. Fine, if you want to make fun of things, do that. And like I said, if it would have been once, Fine, great. It was funny.
You're shoot hot about this right now.
No, I'm shooting out about you and Fox and me. You know
I'm
that.
not Alicia Fox and you.
It is the holidays.
Who, by the way, she looked
It is the
fantastic on TV this
holidays.
week again.
I am singing.
In the rain, but it's snowing outside.
And you are not addressing the story at hand. So, it was disrespectful. They shouldn't have done it 3 times. That's the problem. 1 time would have been funny. Ha ha. 3
They
times.
did it 3 times? I thought it was
ponderous.
once.
It was ponderous. That's what it was. Bad News Barrett. Talked about it last week.
That's your guy. Linda loves bad news.
It didn't take. It's not taking.
It's not
I gave it a
take.
chance last week. I said,
told you it wasn't going to work.
why is it got to be about I told you?
Because I'm right.
Bad news. Well, maybe it's because he didn't give us any good news this week.
He's not going to.
He gave us good news last week.
What was that? We weren't here last week. We had the
2 weeks
Blizzard
ago.
Brawl post show last
2 weeks
week.
ago. Well, I still watch Raw.
Yes, you did.
And he gave us good news. Bad News Barrett. So if not this, then what?
Just let him start knocking people out. You know, he's a talented guy. He's got the tools.
Well,
This
maybe
is
next
a
week he can
terrible
just take
gimmick.
a selfie of himself at the podium.
That'll be funny. I think.
How
he
do you
should.
take selfies? On Twitter, you and Al Snow with
Yes.
these selfies y'all take
Yes,
of each other?
yes, we do.
What selfies? It's a new concept to me. I learned about it with this
It's
whole...
called self-photography. We photography ourselves.
Let's go to this week's count out, ladies and gentlemen. The final segment, the last stretch, because aren't y'all sick of him? I sure am. And we're going to talk about the Shield. Over the last few weeks, we have seen small hints
it's not
of
gonna
possible
happen.
dissension
It can't happen.
in WWE's most dominant team, the Shield. Dean Ambrose was once seen as the standout star of the group, but recently, Roman Reigns has taken that role handedly.
What happened to Nexus?
The question to be answered
I'm
is,
sorry,
should
you're
the
reading.
Shield disband, or if they do, what does it mean? And if they do, what does it mean for each of the stars? Firstly, the question, should they disband?
No, not at all. Look what happened to Nexus. Who's going to be Justin Gabriel?
That's the question. What happens to, okay, so let's say they do disband.
Yes.
Let's say they do break up. Let's say there is a falling out. Dean Ambrose, what happens to him? Many have said he's the next Shawn Michaels, or as good as Shawn Michaels could be if you've seen him on the Indies, if you've seen him wrestle before.
But the Indies is not WWE television. It's completely different. Seth Rollins, where does he go?
Let's answer Dean Ambrose first.
I don't know where Dean Ambrose goes because they already have a Damian Sandow. They've already had a Fandango. They have guys like him already.
But you've said many a time that usually factions are for the breaking out of a star, if you will.
Right.
Somebody comes out of a faction.
Yes.
In this case, you're saying that won't be Dean Ambrose.
No.
All right. So
Not
what
at
about
all.
Seth Rollins?
No, definitely not.
Really?
He's very
Is it the
talented.
hair?
It could be. But Roman Reigns has the look. Roman
what?
Reigns walks into the crowded bar, I will slide over and let him pass. I don't know if I'll let the other 2 guys pass. It's all about perception in pro wrestling.
And it is no doubt, you've read the reports, you've seen the reports, you know it's true. WWE is looking for people with that look. And Roman Reigns is a superstar in looks alone. You got to think he's that breakout star, especially given the focus over the course of the last few weeks. But how do you disband this group? How do you break out of it? Is Roman Reigns...
You don't do it for a while. Let the other 2 break off and be a successful tag team, and then let Roman Reigns go and get a singles run.
How do you get rid of a Roman Reigns and make him, because would have to be a face, I would think, a good guy.
Oh, he'll be a baby face. There's no question.
So the other 2 turn on him?
They're going to have to.
Royal Rumble. Is that a place to do it?
It could. I hope not. I hope they give them another 6 months. I think that they're a great unit right now, and I wouldn't break it up yet.
You could do a solid tease in Pittsburgh at the Royal Rumble of a breakup potentially happening, as they've done with, of course, the last few weeks. But that is this week's count out, and as a matter of fact, that is this week's show.
We're done?
Yes, we are.
Time to go celebrate Christmas.
Happy holidays to all of you watching us here on My 24 Milwaukee. For that one,
This one.
this is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in. We'll
Cal,
see you next
put the
week
eggnog down.
as we look back at 2013 and the week in wrestling. So long, everyone.